So he goes queen f6, queen b4, and now Fabiano just blundered this move b5 after a 2-minute think. I mean, already here it's very hard to play. Bishop d7 takes and rook d8, and maybe black can try to fight on, but even if I play something stupid like knight e3, it's still very, very hard for black to play, and I'm sure knight e3 is nowhere near the best move. So he blundered with b5, which I actually had a feeling he might miss this. Then I check, and the backward diagonal.
Yeah, and the fate
The backward knight move in the diagonal, and it's just game over.
He just resigned, yeah. So
Yeah.
somehow everything went wrong for him in this game, starting from the very beginning. But you said you saw this tell in his eyes that he missed the move. So how often do you notice such tells from your opponents? And is it important that you notice them?
Well, I mean, I think in most events it doesn't matter at all. The problem is in the candidates, everyone is just super nervous and they're crazy out of their mind. Like, I mean, I can give you a good example. Like, if you look at the game between Alireza and Gukesh, Alireza had, what, like 3 minutes for 9 moves? And he's super calm, super relaxed, like super focused, the way that he should have been at the start of the tournament. But if he were on, like, a +1 score, he would have been shaking and nervous. So, I mean, I think it's just a byproduct of the candidates tournament where everyone's just, I mean, so on edge, and there are a lot of nerves at play. So I think it occurs more in this event than other tournaments. I mean, generally, you still spot them sometimes, but it's not as big of a deal, I would say.
But can you maybe reveal some tells from other players? Like, so Caruana's eyes are getting a bit bigger when he misses something. So maybe some other players, what's some particular thing they do?
I haven't noticed. It's just that in both the games against Fabiano, I noticed that he kind of had this sort of tell. I mean, like right before I played Rook F2, it was like his eyes, I think he was like, what? And today I got the same sense when I played moves, he was about to say like, what? Just Knight F4 and I'm winning or something, or better. And so, yeah, I mean, I just saw it in both games, so that's why it's in my mind. But I don't think the other play, I mean, Nepo obviously makes 50 faces just like I do, so it's not, I mean, there's nothing to talk about there. But yeah, I mean, everybody has their tells, but I think the Indians are generally much better at not giving away
Like
as
more
much.
poker face.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, and you're quite expressive yourself, as you said. Do you sometimes use it maybe for the opposite thing? Like you might give some tells just to confuse your opponent?
I mean, I think the thing is though, okay, if I play against the Indian kids, I haven't played them that much. But like if I play Fabiano or Nepo, I mean, I've probably played both of them at least 100+ times if you include Blitz and Rapids. So, I mean, I think we're all very familiar with each other. So I don't try to do that much. I mean, obviously when you play online, you know, I think Magnus spoke about this. So that's a little bit different. You know, when the Zoom call, you start shaking your head or things like that. You know, like that Chess Champions Tour game all those years ago. But it's just, in general, I don't think it's that big of a deal, and I don't consciously think about it.
So you're generally quite relaxed here, as you said many times, but now you're getting closer to the top of the scoreboard. So do you think it might also influence you, so you'll catch this bag, you know, of being nervous?
I mean, there's no pressure on me. I'm playing for fun, so I don't feel pressure.
No matter.
I mean, I think I've said this pretty much every tournament I've played since the FIDE Grand Prix and that first one in Berlin. I mean, basically my goal is to not make a fool out of myself. That's my first and foremost goal. And then after that, just see how I play and go from there. And certainly I was looking like a complete fool after the second round of this tournament, but I mean, I've found a way to win a couple of games, and I think the main thing, again, is that, I mean, I know everybody assumes that I make this up, but I just don't feel pressure. If I do something great, that's fine. If I don't, like, it just doesn't really matter. I think I use that very much to my advantage, because it's very clear that for most of the other players, this is, I mean, it's a very big deal. They have the chance to win. I'm not saying that, like, I wouldn't be happy if I win, but again, I'm just trying to play good chess and not make a fool out of myself, and it seems to be working out.
Do we have questions for Hikaru? Yes, please, but just wait for the microphone.
Hikaru, thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you on behalf of Toronto for gracing us with such beautiful chess. I'm very grateful that you come back to OTB chess from time to time. With that said, I have a single question here. A couple of years ago, for those who remember like me, your score against Fabi in the Classical was negative, just to put it that way. But lately you have reversed that and proven too much for Fabi on several occasions, actually. What do you think accounts for this sort of reversal, if that makes sense? Thank you so much.
Well, I think the first thing is I actually, I finally gave Fabiano the respect he deserves and stopped playing the Najdorf every game against him. I think I lost like 3 or 4 games in a row. I mean, I mean, to be fair, for a long time, that was Fabiano's weak point. He was not very good against Najdorf. He lost games against like myself, Gelfand, and many others. But he fixed that weakness, and I think he ran up 3 or 4. He had this great queen sack in London. He beat me in Norway chess as well. I think there's another 1 or 2 somewhere in there. But that's the first thing. But beyond that, I think perhaps it's just, I just try to find good moves. I try to stay very relaxed, and I think I don't really worry about like a rivalry or anything of that nature, whereas in the past, a lot of things in terms of being a pro player, I would sort of look at his results and compare against him and feel a lot of pressure in like a matchup, because for a long time we've effectively been the number 1 and 2 American players. So I think the main thing is just not really like feeling pressure and just sort of just trying to play and enjoy it. I mean, I know that's a stupid answer. That doesn't really explain a lot, but in general, I think I think Fabiano feels more pressure for whatever reason when he plays me than I feel when I'm going up against him.
When you say pressure, it sounds very negative always. Can't pressure also be a good thing? I mean, because you know it's getting tough and serious and everything. Now it's the hour where everything counts.
Well, I mean, I think there's a balance, obviously. Pressure can be a good thing, but I think if you're talking about statistics, you look at the candidates tournament versus any other top-level tournament, the play is significantly worse. This one I'm not sure about, but in general, you see many more mistakes, many blunders, and you know, if you compare it against a Grand Chess Tour event, it's just like, it feels like the players are not the same players at all. So, I mean, I think pressure in this event is not a good thing. I think I've found a way to sort of manage it. I think also for me, 2016, I felt way too much pressure. I was way too nervous throughout the event. And I remember, because, I mean, Peter Lecko was one of the people I was working with, and he was always trying to be positive. He was always like, you have a chance, you'll come back here. And I'm always like very negative, very pessimistic about the whole thing. And so I think I learned a lot from that experience in 2016 relating to like the 2022 candidates and this one as well. That, I mean, for myself, I just try to feel no pressure. Obviously, I mean, I'm in a good situation, so it's easy to say that. I mean, I think everybody's gonna have a different answer, but for me, I feel like pressure it's always a bad thing. It's always a bad thing as far as it relates to chess. And you know, I'll give you another example. Like, I mean, this is just a general comment, but there's so many tournaments over the many years that I've played chess where I think about last round games where there's a player who has the white pieces and they need a draw to win the tournament against players with black pieces. And there are many instances where they go on to lose the game. It's like, I've done it even against like Wesley So in the American Cup. I think Fabiano's done it. Magnus, of course, is just ridiculous, and he of course never finds a way to blunder in those games. But in general, I feel like you see it a lot where players with a white piece in a situation where they only need to draw to win the event or whatever it is, they end up in a lot of trouble in that game, if not losing. And I think it's, again, a direct result of pressure. And I just don't think pressure in general is good. Maybe if you're young and you have great nerves, it can be. But I think it's much better to just try and relax and enjoy everything.